One commodity we don't often quote, but has been doing a roaring trade, is wool. And according to our next guest, Australia still produces the world's finest wool product. But how is the market in top-end wool retailing? The Italian fashion house Zegna is opening a flagship store in Sydney tomorrow night, and I spoke with the company's president, Paulo Zegna, earlier. Paulo Zegna, welcome to the programme.
Thank you.
Now, you had a flagship store in Sydney in 2008, which you closed. It's taken 3 years to find this one. What do you hope to achieve with this store?
We had an intermediate period, which was quite tough. We were in a small location, and we presented Zegna not in the proper way, not in the way we like to offer and show, and we do all over the world. So when we finally got this location at Westfield, we were happy to come back. So hopefully it will be finally the good store of Zegna, directly managed with the full service, with the full merchandise.
And the true flagship.
And the true flagship in Australia.
Because over the last 3 years, obviously, we've had the global financial crisis and getting over during that period. But your last full year of results have been strong. I think a profit of 60 million euros. Are you concerned about Europe, that we might be seeing this all over again?
Listen, everybody is concerned, especially now when people still have to understand what exactly is happening. And there are a lot of rumors. People are preoccupied. I think it's not only Europe, it's the state, it's the highly debt states which are today in the loop.
But when Italy, for instance, got downgraded just yesterday, is that going to have a direct impact on the business of Zegna, do you think?
But listen, certainly in the market in Europe, I would say so. We must say that at the same time, the market in Europe has not been brilliant till now. And fortunately for us, we have built a reality of Zegna outside of Europe, whether it's in the States or in Asia. Asia has grown up tremendously in the last few years. What used to be Asia for Japan has become today Asia as a whole, including Far East Asia and including China. China has become extremely important to us. We have present in 37 cities. We have 63 stores, and is a way to create the Zegna of the future.
I'll come to China very shortly, but at the moment, we do have this European crisis looming.
Yeah.
To what extent has the strong Australian dollar perhaps helped you with sales over here? Are people more willing to buy at the high end?
Listen, I don't think so. First of all, we had to buy our wool more expensive.
Of course.
But when we come, we have, in theory, an advantage with the high rate of the Australian dollar, but it is the psychology of the people which needs to be pushed. In the end, the rate of exchange goes up and down a little bit, and I don't think that is what brings people in or brings people out of the shop. And there are other elements.
Given you're famous for your Zegna suit, of course, if you do have a year where banking bonuses, corporate bonuses are down, do you see that directly in your sales?
We saw that sometimes in the past when we were mainly focused on business suits. The range has evolved. The range in the collection now considers a lot of garments for the free time. And I would say that while in crisis people maybe tend to slow down their buying of suits because they say, I can use the same suit of the previous season, they're still willing to buy something new for their free time. And this helps consumption and continuous evolution of your turnover.
You are, of course, one of the biggest buyers of fine wool in Australia. Now, wool prices generally over the last 20 years, they've never been so good. But the superfine wool prices have been sort of a little up and down. The Newcastle sales this last week have been off a bit. It seems to be very much related to the economy.
I would say that this is related to China, because China has become, has been a major buyer of wool in general for many years, is now coming and start to become a meaningful buyer of superfine wool. But if China comes into the picture, you know, the wool prices go up. If China is still not so vital for superfine wool, and there are other countries that are more involved, like England or certainly Italy more than anybody else, I think that these may change the attitude to the price.
Should Australian superfine wool growers be worried about supply coming from China?
I don't think so.
No.
We talk about different words. The only similar, in a way, similar wool to Australia is the New Zealand.
So China is the future, as it is for so many businesses. The world's biggest luxury market by 2020, with sales of over $100 billion, I gather. Now, you've been there for 20 years. The race is on, isn't it, for space? You're looking for your flagship there in Beijing, aren't you?
We have been, now we are well established. And fortunately, having been there 20 years, give us an advantage of being known. We have a very high reputation in China. We have shopping malls coming to offer the spaces, so we are in a position to select the spaces that we like. But this is not for everybody, because there are many more companies that want to come into China, and maybe the new shopping malls are not enough to have them all. So there is a fight to get the locations. We have the privilege and the advantage of having been there for so long, and that is established strong relationship with the major real estate owners. And fortunately, for the time being, we fight, but it's not as a strong fight as others have to do in order to get in.
Finally, Paulo Zegna, will you pronounce the full name of your store for us and for every Australian?
But the name, the difficult part is not Zegna, is Ermenegildo.
I shall do lots of practicing. Paulo Zegna, I thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.